recording. Okay, so here's my audience of 3 and a quarter. Okay, so turn it around to me. Okay. Having a baby changes everything. Like most people, I've been through times in my life that have changed me. Depression changed me. Graduating from high school, moving 8 hours away from my family and friends, getting married, and losing our baby in our 8th week of pregnancy changed me. But probably the thing that's changed me in the most surprising yet wonderful way is giving birth to our son. Becoming a mom has changed me in so many ways, but probably the 3 most important are that I've become less self-involved, I've gained a new perspective on life, and I've changed my priorities. Before becoming a mom, I was a pretty selfish person, and maybe that's something I shouldn't admit, but I think that most young people without responsibilities are pretty selfish. We tend to put our own wants and needs before those of others around us, even if we don't really realize that's what we're doing. When you're young, the most important person in your life is yourself. And so you tend to prioritize yourself over other people. But once you bring a baby into the world, your focus shifts from you to that little person who is completely dependent upon you. And suddenly their wants and their needs become more important than your own. I started struggling with depression in high school. And at the time, I didn't really realize that's what it was. And most people just kind of, brush you off and assume you're just a moody hormonal teenager. And over time, after experiencing the symptoms that I experienced, it became pretty obvious that I was depressed. And depression is something that I've struggled with for most of my life. And I think it's something that I'll probably always have to deal with. I don't think it's ever going to completely go away. In the past, I've struggled with concerns about where I fit in the world and, what my purpose in life is. And I shared some of those worries with my father during my second pregnancy, and he helped calm my fears by telling me that once I had our baby, all those worries would just disappear, that having that person in my life to care for and to raise would give me that purpose in life that I was so desperately seeking. And he was right. The second thing in my life that's changed is gaining a new perspective. A newborn gives you an entirely different perspective on life. Suddenly the world becomes this big, scary place that it really wasn't before. And truthfully it was, you just, didn't really have those concerns before you had such a helpless little person to care for. You sit up at night worrying about things that are out of your control, all the what ifs that could happen. You wake up at night to go check and watch their chest rise and fall to make sure that they're still breathing because you fear losing them. But with all of those bad things come some really good ones too. Having a kid changes your perspective in a really amazing way because kids are experiencing the world for the first time. And everything is so new to them, That's just that, Hudson, my son, will be playing outside and he'll go find this rock. And it's a rock. There's nothing special about it. It's just your ordinary rock. But to him, this is the coolest rock he's ever seen, and he's got to come show it to me. And he's so proud of this rock, and you can't help but smile and go help him look for more rocks. And butterflies. Anytime a butterfly flutters past, he smiles and he runs after it and tries to catch it, and he calls them fly flies. So he'll show me, Mama, fly, Mama. And weeds are, flowers. They'll go pick you a little bouquet of flowers as a special gift, and popsicles are like the best snack ever, even though you explain to them that popsicles are not a snack. But once you have kids, you just see the world in a way that you really haven't seen it since you were a kid yourself. The biggest struggle that I've had as a mother, as a parent, has been lowering my expectations of myself. I love to have a clean house, and I always have, and I think that most people like to have a clean house. And there's just something about my house being perfectly clean and all the checks on my list being checked off that just gives me this sense of accomplishment, and it just puts me at peace with myself and my home. And needless to say, having kids really screws that up. It makes it a lot harder to check off everything on your to-do list when you have this person who seems to need you as soon as you stand up to do something. And so that's been my biggest struggle, is just trying to remember that there are things that are more important in life than a picture-perfect clean house. The dishes and the laundry and all of that mess are always going to be there. But your kids aren't. They're only kids for a short amount of time. They're only little for a short amount of time. And the truth is that if one thing gets done, the other one pretty much gets neglected. If you spend all day with your kids, your house is pretty much a mess. And if you spend all day cleaning your house, then you probably ignored your kids for most of the day. So I'm trying to be better about not stressing so much over the expectations I have for myself and spending time with my family, because that's really what matters most. So, becoming a mom has changed my life. It has affected me in so many ways, including becoming less self-involved, getting a new perspective, and changing my priorities. Life is a journey that really changes you a little bit at a time, and you don't really notice it as it's happening. You'll notice it as you're looking back. And then there are some things that happen in life that are a lot bigger, and you can't help but notice them. And having a baby changes everything. Let me show you my audience again. And here they are. Okay.